Cody, tonight is cruise night here in T-Town. You are one of the big deal for like putting this on. You had 7,000 to 8,000 people here last year. What's it mean to you to see this keep growing every year?
So it just keeps getting bigger and bigger each and every year. It's something that you can come out, the elderly can come out and enjoy. It's check out some cars they used to cruise around town in. It's open to modern cars. It's open just to anyone. If you have a normal vehicle, you want to come out and cruise around and check out some cool cars, enjoy an awesome evening in the great community. You know, that's what it's all about. We have face painting for the kids. The police officers bring out the canine dogs and their support dogs. It's a little bit of everything going on here. Plenty of refreshments, plenty of drinks, plenty of food. It's a great evening.
So from the start, how much time gets put into this to the night of?
So we actually start planning a year in advance already. So we meet once a month all year up until the month of the event. Then we kind of meet like weekly, and then we started already on Monday bringing stuff in. Monday night we set up, Tuesday we set up, Wednesday night we set up, and then Thursday and Friday all kinds of comes together. I've been here since 8 o'clock this morning. It's about 5 o'clock tonight. We're trying to finalize the setup, finalizing some speaker stuff that we got going on. We got a big movie screen so everybody that maybe can't get up close to where the cars are at can see from a distance. So it takes a bunch of people, and we make the best of it, and it takes a lot of work. The town we live in, the community we live in, is just super supportive and amazing, and it just keeps growing. And there's people coming from a bigger and bigger circle. You know, we had a whole bunch of people come up from Southern Illinois last night that are actually spending the weekend here this weekend just for this event. I was just told there's some guys coming down from up northern Wisconsin. So, it just keeps growing, and it's super cool to see in our little town for sure. For me, what's the coolest thing is watching the kids, man. They'll just be lining the street, looking at the cars. Just super neat watching the kids having a great night and enjoying this. And cars you don't ever see, cars that come out once or twice a year, get out and kind of get some miles on them, and people enjoy them, and that's what they're all about.
Let's talk about the history of you and CW Motorsports. You know these vehicles, you know the engines. What's it mean to you to now full stage of seeing these cars? And you get to kind of relive some history with this as well.
Yeah, super neat. My dad is actually a very big adamant in the community on muscle cars for sure, and kind of got me into cars. And I actually own a power sports shop, so a little bit different than automobiles, but very, very similar. And I just grew up around these things as just a little kid, and now I get to watch my nieces and nephews and my own kids kind of grow up around these cars and kind of like third generation be involved with old classic cars. It's pretty cool. You just get to see cars of all different makes, all different models, different styles, different people's way of doing things. There's some like cool rat rods, which that's like an old car thrown together some different pieces, to like super nice cars that's kind of like behind me here. So it's just neat seeing all the different stuff and the diversity, and then just everyone gets along and has a great night kind of hanging out and enjoying some refreshments over some cool cars.
This is now your 8th year of having this cruise night here in T-Town. Did you envision this being as big as it is now? And what is the ceiling for how big this can be, you feel?
I got a phone call after the first year asking if I'd join the committee, and obviously I did. So this is my 7th year on, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Like the previous year we had 5,000, 7,000 last year. Who knows what's in store for us tonight, but it's awesome. And we physically are outgrowing the event area and almost outgrowing the town. It's being held wild, and the streets will be packed tonight. All the restaurants will be full. That's what it's all about. You know, everybody comes together, has a good time, and we're going to make a great event out of this.
From the behind the scenes work of this, what goes into the biggest challenge that you guys all put together to make this a perfect night for everybody?
You know what? That's like the unseen stuff. You know, like right now they're having some issue with sound and speakers. Like that wasn't something we had planned for. It wasn't something we thought was going to happen. They were missing a cable or broke a cable. So it's the stuff that like are the unknowns. I've seen a bunch of stuff that I just rigged up a little bit ago. Is now coming back down. So. And the event is starting in 20 minutes, but we'll work through it, make it happen, and you just gotta adapt and overcome. That's what it's like putting on a big event like this.
Do you see anything happen like this here compared to anywhere else where a small town can have something put together like this?
You know, I mean, like the closest thing you're gonna get is like a good county fair, but you know, there's way more square footage, you know, much more budget, bigger budget to work with. So it's just really neat that we're able to put this together, such a small community, and have so many things for people to do. It's free to come. We don't charge to get in. There's free kids activities. It's just a great evening. It really is. You definitely should come check it out.
Yeah.
So the Shriners does all the food, and we give all the money back that they raise with the food money back to the Shriners. So that's a great thing. And I think there's actually like 4 massive commercial grills cooking, and they started cooking an hour ago, and they won't shut those off until like 11 o'clock tonight. So the amount of hamburgers and bratwurst and stuff that are cooked is just absolutely mind-blowing. Literally a massive trailer came with bread just for buns, and we'll go through all of them for the night's over. So
at the beginning we have the honor guard, the national anthem. How important is that? Obviously people, we thank everybody, all the veterans who support us, but just to see that at the very beginning and then all the cars show up.
You know, it's super cool. I think that's one of the best pictures of the evening you're going to see at some point. Someone to get a super cool picture with some smoke in the background, kind of with the flag, the big cross, the churches in the background in our small town. It's just super neat. It's such an awesome, like, photogenic area too for what we got going on here. And like you say, it all comes together in 4 or 5 days, and we'll tear it all down tomorrow in about 4 or 5 hours. Normally there's a wedding on Saturday at the, you know, because we're at the KC Hall. We got to get it tore down for. We actually have a week that we don't have, a year we don't have that, so that's super cool. So we get a little bit extra time tearing down, but by about noon tomorrow, this place will be completely picked up. And something I think is super cool is, you know, we talk about 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 people coming into one area. The very little amount of trash we pick up around here after the event is just incredible. Kind of speaks volume for the small town we live in, for sure.
So there's obviously a lot of people on the committee with you, Cody, but talk about the process of being on the committee, in the meetings, favorite parts of that, but just how do you improve on stuff and what goes into that?
So, you know, there's like 16 committee members, I would say, and everyone kind of has their own thing that we do. Like my particular part of the committee is the cruise route itself. So like I'm in charge of making sure the cruise route is set up, it's safe, it's marked good. There's some people that are on the committee, part of food or refreshments or sound, you know, so everyone kind of has their own thing that they do the days that we're here, and we just kind of all get together and put it all together, and it makes a great event.
Hey, next up we've got Cohen Williamberg.
to see people come here that you don't normally get to see. I mean, you meet different people. What's that mean to you more than anything?
Yeah, no, that's really neat. You know, you get to see people you maybe only see once or twice a year, and this brings so many people out, and just an awesome event, awesome organization, and everyone just kind of comes together and has a good evening, and it's a good time.
Everybody knows around here, Vince Hicks is a DJ. He's obviously here again this year, but kind of getting him here every year. What's that mean to you from a friend's point of view, but just to see so many people show up for that as well?
You know, Vince is with Higgs Welding. They had a huge part of putting this together. You know, all the metal work that goes into structures and fixtures and hanging the banners and stuff. So Higgs Welding was a huge part of that. And it's pretty cool seeing Vince out here. You don't get to see him very often. You see him do a couple weddings a year, but he don't miss cruise night.
The Effingham police are over there. Alex Ritz, Dustin Lustig, and Cody Harkey got stuff set up for all the kids to go check out. Go touch a cop car. The fire trucks were out there from T-Town Fire Department. And also, whatever the Pomerettes bring in, T-Town Cruise Night is going to match. So they're going to match that for the T-Town Pomerettes. Speaking of raffles, we've got something new this year. We've got the Blow the Motor Up raffle. And now we are going to hear from Miss Gabby Hazlett. And we are going to have the Titopolis American Legion Color Guard. 50-50 drawing. Please have your tickets out.
Where does the money go towards?
So last year we did Shop with a Cop with the city. This year we're doing Shop with a Cop with the county. We also help out the Altamont Skeet Team, the Knights of Columbus, which they, this thing all started because of their fire they had and rebuilding their building. But I was able to be part of the Shop with a Cop last year after the large donation we did. It is super touching to watch some kid that is excited to have a pair of socks and a jacket. We let them go. They get to spend $100 on clothes, $100 on toys, and you'd be blown away. These kids are just so happy to be able to buy new pants or new shoes. The little boy that I was with, he literally said, "Can I get socks?" He got one toy and he was done. It was a $30 toy. He didn't need any more, and it was super cool, super touching. So we're definitely donating to that probably year after year moving forward. But Shop with the Cop the majority is going out to this event, and that's a great organization. Yeah, it takes a group. It's just not me. It's the whole committee comes together and puts this on, and it's definitely neat to see. We got kind of a rhythm and a system down, I guess you can say, by now. We've been doing it so many years of how we put it together. It takes us a week to put together. We'll tear this thing down in one day on Saturday and kind of get everything boxed all up and store it all for next year. We have a massive list of sponsors, but the big ones that kind of come to play right away are Higgs Welding. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be able to have all the infrastructure work. Dale's Diesel Service, like DDS Trailer Sales. Jetco Sales did all the promotional stuff. Willenberg Reconditioning, huge part of keeping all these cars cleaned up and stuff for the event. I'm probably missing some, but like I said, it's just an incredible event put on by a bunch of people, and we raise a lot of donation money to give back to Shop with the Cop, and that's what it's all about.
Cody Willenberg of CW Motorsports. Cody, I appreciate you taking the time for me. Look forward to a great event tonight. So many people showing up, people from across the states away. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Yep, Tyler, thanks for coming. It's super cool you're able to do this for us, and hopefully we can get this on the news and let everybody see from a bigger circle, and maybe next year they can come out and enjoy the evening with us.
The town of Titopolis threw quite the party tonight. They hosted their annual cruise night and car show at the banquet hall in town. There's food, drinks, and plenty of entertainment, not to mention the donut contests.
town we live in, the community we live in, is just super supportive and amazing, and it just keeps growing. And there's people coming from a bigger and bigger circle. You know, we had a whole bunch of people come up from Southern Illinois last night. They're actually spending the weekend here this weekend just for this event. I was just told there's some guys coming down from up northern Wisconsin. So, you know, it just keeps growing, and it's super cool to see in our little town for sure.
Last year, the show raised more than $35,000 for local charities. Officials say this year could top more than $50,000.
New tonight, the sound of loud cars filled the air in Teutopolis. Look at that. Cruise night near the banquet hall in town. Along with car cruise, there was a power wheel derby and a car show. It's raising money for several organizations, including Shop for the Cop and the banquet hall.
It's something that you can come out, the elderly can come out and enjoy. Let's check out some cars they used to cruise around town in. It's open to modern cars. It's open just to anyone who have a normal vehicle. You want to come out and cruise around and check out some cool cars, enjoy an awesome evening in a great community. You know, that's what it's all about.
They're thankful for the community support, looking forward to keeping the tradition alive for years to come.